if you double click, like you're gonna have all these two are not going to be there. So if you have a page 2, you should have only 4 on that page to be maximum saturated, absolute maximum. So that means he is 4, 8, 11 over. I just saw him transfer, so we'll see if he's over. See, now this is absolutely maximum saturation, no more than this. But it's actually inefficient unless he has 16 here. Basically, here we go. So this is perfect, what he has done. Basically, 16 probes per, or 2 probes per mineral patch is the maximum you can do. And look, we have a drop here, but this observer is going to spot it. And Josh is already ready, patrolling stalkers. He also sees this army coming across the map. You see, if his army was in a more aggressive spot, like say here, he could have taken advantage of these medevacs that were flying over. So you, as a Terran player, you really have to be careful about your pathing. The medevacs flew over here, whereas the Marines and Marauders went down this way. If he had stalkers, he could have at least done damage. He probably couldn't have killed anything, but he would have also forced a stim. These units would have been rushed over here, and that would have been free damage. If Janny wants to keep putting on pressure, I think she should break these rocks down. I think that would help a lot. But Josh is going to have a ton of units. He has thermal lance. He has 3 Colossus now. Only 3 gateways. I think he needs more than that. I don't really know about adding this second forge before adding more gates. I mean, I guess he's at least adding 1. And look, he's building pylons and this random cannon. These random cannons. I guess he doesn't want to be dropped down while this attack commences, even though he has these 3 stalkers patrolling. Okay, as a Terran player also, if you scout, you saw her scout with this Marine. Number 1, that's extremely smart. Every single Terran player should be doing that. When there's a ramp, you scout, you stim 1 Marine, you run it up, and you see what's up here. If he's just sitting up here waiting for you, scan your army. That means that he can see something. And yeah, you can clearly see he sees everything. So I guess this drop failed. Oh, actually getting a stalker. That's actually really cool. Really good for her. And let's see. I think Janny's macro, while being pretty impeccable, to be honest, I think she could really use more production structures. A little key to macro isn't always to build every single unit you possibly can. It is, so at some points you need to actually cut production. When you feel safe, you cut production, you stop building units, and you drop down a ton of unit producing buildings. And in Brood War there was a macro player called Best. He played Protoss. He's very, very notorious for doing that. Off of 3 bases, most people in Brood War would have about 10 gateways, but Best would stop production completely, drop down 18 gateways, and then he would just absolutely explode. So Best would be like really weak for about a 2-minute period of time, and he would explode with units. And he was very notorious for this. And that is much the same in SC2. What you really want to do is you have to be able to feel safe and then drop a ton of unit producing buildings and just explode with units. So it looks like we might have a confrontation here. I don't actually think Josh realizes what a population deficit he's at, but he does definitely have the better army composition. Janny just doesn't have enough Vikings. She has 2 Vikings, which just isn't enough. She has a fleet of medevacs, 12 medevacs. Oh my god, 1-1 ups to 1-2 ups, which is clearly in the Protoss favor. Yeah, this is, and Janny sees Josh taking this 3rd, whereas you see Janny took the 3rd that I was talking about. When you're going to be the aggressor and you're Terran, this is the base you want. Seriously, it is. And she's actually taking a 4th, probably in response to this 3rd. And the fact that her money is going to start climbing. So yeah, here we go. You see, at this point, Janny is adding more production facilities because she can't build anything else. She's at pop limit. And here goes Josh. This is actually kind of ill-advised. Look at the pop difference, 160 to 200. But he does have the better army. Force fields are actually working against his zealots there. He needs to be using Guardian Shield. But these Colossus are doing so much damage. 10, 11 kills, 4 and 9. But Oh my god. Oh, she's grouping up her units. I actually don't know. And these reinforcing zealots, I don't know. It looks like Josh is going to barely lose that fight. If Josh had just waited to be maxed out, if he had just waited, because she clearly wasn't going to attack, he would have demolished this army. But now, oh my god, with this many medevacs, and medevacs really do well in these smaller battles. They don't shine as much in the huge battles, because if you think about it, right now they're healing basically 100% of our army. You see how quickly they heal. But in a huge fight, they're healing maybe what, 10% of the army? Oh, the probe transfer. Oh, it's walking straight into the units. And look at the pop differences already. And at this point, I don't think there's any coming back. Josh made that critical mistake of attacking a maxed army without a maxed army. And it wasn't like that maxed army was coming up his ramp. He's the one who initiated. So I guess that one was just a little bit of an unfortunate decision. But I did really like his unit composition. Josh also could have benefited from that macro mechanic that I told you of just cutting units and just dropping a ton of gateways. It's really unintuitive because you think, well, I really should be spending my money on units, but really spending your money is spending your money. And if you can possibly, instead of having, let's see his gateway count, only 5 gateway or 6 gateways and a robo. If he could have had 10 gateways and a robo, that's the best way to play against a passive person, and just absolutely exploding up. And that would be GG, and let's go into game 2.